Now, I know Governor Tim Walz was here yesterday, and I'm glad he was able to come. And I respect this union for inviting both sides to take the stage and to make the case to all of our membership. And of course, that's what democracy is about. You listen to both sides, you weigh their records, you weigh their plans, and then you vote. And so today I'm asking you to ignore the campaign rhetoric and look at the record. In 2019, this union endorsed a Democrat for president with high hopes. But sadly, I believe you've been let down. Now let's talk about the issues that affect all Americans, and then let's talk about some of the issues that affect just firefighters. But all Americans are affected by this terrible inflation crisis. And under President Trump, wages were rising, and nobody was really talking about inflation in 2020 in this country. But under the economic mismanagement of this administration, firefighters have had already strained budgets and pensions stretched to the breaking point by this affordability crisis. With President Trump at the helm, our border was secure and drug trafficking was down. And under the open border policies of this administration, America has experienced a massive increase and a massive influx of illegal aliens and deadly drugs. And I know that a lot of you are on the front lines fighting against it. Enough fentanyl has poured into this country under Kamala Harris's leadership to kill every single American, man, woman, and child. And firefighters and EMTs every single day are fighting against this crisis. I know it because I've seen you in my communities, and I admire you for it. Now, when I visit a factory or some other place of business, I always ask the workers there, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? And the answer is almost always no. Now, I want to ask the firefighters in this room a slightly different but a related question. Are you administering less Narcan today than you were 4 years ago? My guess is that for almost every person in this room, the answer is unfortunately no, and that was a policy choice of the President administration. Now, you are so often the first to respond when someone is suffering an overdose. You try to help our fellow citizens living with addiction to survive those overdoses and to be able to build a second chance at a better life. And I know, and I've seen it very personally, you try desperately to revive parents who took something they shouldn't, all while comforting the children who were terrified that they might lose their mom or dad. I've spoken to so many firefighters and EMTs over the years who are on the front lines of this drug war, this addiction crisis. They revive people who took fentanyl, they rescue their children, and they even sometimes, as you all know, put out fires that were started by drug addicts. And one of the things they confess to me in private, though I know you would never say this in public, is their fear that they aren't making a difference. Now, there's a hidden trauma among our firefighters. I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't know. A trauma that comes from staring death in the eye every single day and worrying that you are fighting a losing battle. And I just want you to hear it from me that I understand. But I want you to hear a story, a very personal story. When I was 12, my mom was in the middle of a terrible, terrible addiction crisis herself. She struggled with it for most of my early childhood. And I remember during a particularly bad episode, I called 911. Like so many kids who have parents who struggle, I called 911. Now the firefighters, the EMTs, and the police came. They calmed her down, but as you all know, they calmed me down too. They calmed my sister down. They did that public service that only they can do. Now, years later, she took something else that she shouldn't have taken. And the firefighters and the EMTs, they saved her life and took her to the hospital where she lay in a coma before eventually waking up. And I want you to know that for us, we did get a second chance. And so if you're ever worried that you're not making a difference, listen to this from the sad and tearful 12-year-old to a 40-year-old who's now asking to be your vice president. You do make a difference. You make a difference every single day, and I thank you for it. Now, you might not always see it, and you might not hear it, and I know that a lot of the people that you're out there fighting for and saving, sometimes they don't say thank you. But my mom, as much as she struggled with addiction for a big chunk of my early life, when you saved her life, when you gave her a second chance, she got clean, and she's been clean and sober for now almost 10 years. And God bless her, and God bless all of you for fighting for her. So believe it from me, believe it from a kid who's seen it with his very own eyes. You are making a difference. You are saving lives, and you are giving people an opportunity at a second chance, even if you don't see them take that opportunity every single time. God bless you guys. I love you for it, and I'm so grateful for it. We wouldn't have the second chance with my mom without probably some of the people that are sitting in this room.